Sharon Hall. I am your host for Laugh at the Moose. Welcome to the Oceanside Moose Lodge. But it's time to get a little shameless here. She comes to us all the way from the House of Kennedy. She is also a recurring character on the hit show Shameless. And we are excited to have her here. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Mary Kennedy!
Let's hear it for your amazing MC, producer, superstar. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on, I'm wearing Spanx. Let's do this. So where are my Shameless fans? Come on, you must be in the bar. Thank you. Yeah, I was on season 7 of Shameless. I did 8 episodes as new Fiona, an out-of-work prostitute who worked for food. Yes, I made it. That's right, sir. That's right. And I had 2 nude scenes, sir. 2. It's okay, you're not eating. It's okay. And I'm on skindaddy.com. SKINDADDY.com. That's right. SKINDADDY.com. Write it down. The likes you get, the more naked I get. Anyway, so here's the thing. My description on skindaddy.com is much like my IMDb. Milky white Irish girl where her left breast is bigger than her right. And because I'm Irish, it also says, and her face looks like a baked potato. So we're good. Everything's great. So my husband, who's half Italian, I wasn't sure if he wanted the world to see all of me when I booked this job, and then I printed out my contract, and he saw how much I was making, and he said, go do God's work. And I did. I did God's work. She's looking down. It's okay. I was naked. You weren't. It's really okay. So I'm originally from Boston. The Patriots comment I'm not so happy about, but I'm originally from Boston. Anybody here from Boston? That's right. Good. Where are you from?
Lowell.
Lowell. All right. I'm from Marblehead, which is a little town by the sea, 4.5 square miles of water, surrounded by water and regret. That's where I'm from. And our school mascot was a lobster, and the name of our high school football team was the Marblehead Magicians. Ta-da! Anyway, so my Boston accent, you guys, got in the way of my sex life, right? Right, Lowell? My Boston accent got in the way of my sex life. I've had a night of heavy lovemaking, and I turn to the guy next to me and I go, that's a wicked big pissy you got down there, huh? 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 Boston, I come from a big Irish Catholic family, and I am a Kennedy. I am third cousins twice removed from the Kennedy family. All of the tragedy, none of the money. Thanks. Yeah, it's true. I have the Ted Kennedy chin and nose. You can see it. And, I gained some popularity when RFK was running for president, you guys. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, Bobby Jr., right? But I have to dispel a myth. I really do. When I get up and speak in front of people, I have to let you know that alcoholics don't run in my family. They drive. So RFK Jr. So because of Shameless and my nakedness, I get DMs, guys slip into my DMs, prisoners, military guys, Carrot Top. It's very exciting. And but people were slipping in my DMs and they said, I'm going to vote for Robert Kennedy Jr. Your cousin, aren't you going to do that? I said, no. He's the cousin we don't make eye contact with, okay? He's not. My father would tell me he was the one that was always in trouble, and he picked heroin over alcohol. Not smart. And so my father said, keep your distance. He was the cousin that we wanted to have the lobotomy. He's the cousin, it's okay, breathe through your nose, you're gonna see me naked. He's the cousin that we wished went shotgun with Ted. So that's for another day, it's fine. Oh, everyone breathe. Thank you, she's laughing, God bless. So I am a Kennedy, I'm Irish Catholic, like I told you, I'm Irish Catholic. I shared a room after my parents got divorced, I got moved into my grandma, Nana Ann's room, and she's Irish Catholic, and one side of the room was a shrine to Jesus, and the other side of the room was a shrine to Duran Duran. Because Nana Ann was hungry like a wolf. Duran Duran, thank you. You're not like the millennials who don't ever get that. I mean, I have a little millennial joke for you guys. I took my kids to the Galaxy's Edge over Christmas break, at Disneyland, which for parents, it's the Star Wars exhibit. It should be called The Edge of Financial Ruin. And I was standing there with my kids, and my 16-year-old said to me, "Mom, I can't wait to go to the Millennial Falcon." I said, "Honey, it's not the Millennial Falcon. It's the Millennium Falcon. If it was the Millennial Falcon, it wouldn't be working." That's a good one. There's one guy in there that keeps groaning. I don't know if it's because you just had sex with me or you like the joke. Anyway, that's a good one. Anyway, so my Nana Ann thought that I could get pregnant by sitting on a toilet seat, you guys, when I was a kid. Because I was a whore. When I was 16, I was a whore. I did everything but the Catholic priests because I wasn't their type. Anyway, and so my Nana Ann would say, you know, you can get pregnant by sitting on a toilet seat. So after our nightly prayers, she'd teach me how to do the squat so I wouldn't sit on a toilet seat. "Mary, keep your thighs strong." But I didn't keep my thighs strong, and I did sit on a toilet seat, and my kid will be 21 next week. A miracle. A miracle. Thank you. My mom had a band growing up. My mom had a wedding band, which consisted of 50-year-old divorcees singing Hot Stuff in Locomotion, called the Mood Swings. Thank you. Now they're in their 60s, they're called the Hot Flashes. And in their 80s, they'll be called the Dry Vaginas. You know, I'm going through menopause, you guys. I'm going through menopause. I'm having a hot flash right now. After this, I'm going to go to your 24 hours. Do you have pavilions here, or Vons? I'll go to the 24-hour Vons. And I wait for the thunder and lightning storm in produce. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yes. You're waiting in produce by the potatoes and you see that flash of lightning, ladies, and you think, "Oh, I'm having a stroke." No, it's just the beginning of the show. And then you see that nice cool mist come over the organic radicchio, right, ladies? And I strip down. I take off all my clothes, skindaddy.com, SKINDADDY.com. I take off all my clothes and I jump right into the organic spinach and I roll around completely naked like a dog that's just gotten a bath. And I just lay there and get all the goodness. People are horrified and I just lay there. And then I see this dirty hose, you know the dirty hose in produce that they wash off the vegetables with? I take that and I wash myself like a horse in heat from the top of my head down to my toe. Thank God you won't cheat on me with her because she's out of her mind. I asked my husband of 22 years, I said, "Will you ever cheat on me? Would you ever cheat on me?" He goes, "No, I'm too lazy." So I felt so pretty. You know, my husband, I'm the extrovert, my husband's the introvert, and he doesn't speak to me or look at me in the eye. He doesn't. It's like being married to Helen Keller. But he pays the mortgage. He pays the mortgage, and that's all that matters. And I asked him to spice it up in the bedroom, you guys. Okay, I asked him to spice it up in the bedroom. Who's here having sex over 50? Who? Nobody. Okay. So I asked my husband to spice it up in the bedroom. He did this, you guys. He did this. Look, he titty flicked me. He titty flicked me. Said my job here is done. And went and watched a Buffalo Bills game. So this is long-term marriage. Yeah, you can laugh out loud. You don't have to cover your eye. I live with him. You don't live with him. I live with him. Who do you, I just want to live with him. Who has the mythical list when your wife says, or your girlfriend, "Can you fix this?" It's on the list. Who has the list? Come on, admit it. Yeah, they won't admit it. They have this mythical list. You raised your hand. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. It's this mythical list. You put all this stuff on here and it never gets done. Do you know what I do, ladies? I have a trick for you guys, right? Because my husband needs to feel like he's important, but it never works. He thinks he's a plumber. He's a computer engineer. He thinks he's a plumber, and he's got to fix things. And every time he fixes it, it breaks it, and it costs me $10,000 more than when we began. So what my gorgeous Egyptian contractor does is we have a sink that's completely broken all the time, and we let him tittle with that. We let him fix that sink, and then the contractor comes in, and he actually does the work, and he actually gets it done. I have a mythical list, Brad Pitt's on that mythical list, that I'm going to have sex with him. And we all know that's never, ever going to happen. So that's the list, guys. Okay, that's a new joke. I like it. You may be like, she's a mean bitch. No. So we were having sex I know, breathe through your nose, everybody. I know it's hard to watch. And we were having sex, and we're in the middle of having sex, and we're doing our thing, and he goes, hold on, I need to get my readers. You got it, because he wore his readers last night. I get it. You're fine. Are you guys together? Yeah. Yes, God, the love. Love is in the air tonight. How long have you been married?
21 years.
There it is. That's 21 years. That's right. That's 21 years. Do you love each other? Yeah, sure. That's fine. I got a Chico bag last night. I'm fine. Things are good. Anyway, no, it's cute. I love you. Let's hear it for them. They're so cute. Yeah, no, my husband and I are married, and he snores. Who here snores? Does anyone snore here? Yeah, okay. When I started dating my guy, I thought if he snores, it will go away. It won't be a lifelong commitment. Oh no, ladies. So this is what I woke up to. I've been on the road for a week. This is what I woke up to before I left, ready? And his doctor says, our doctor, because we're 90 years old, we have the same doctor, he said, you need to get a CPAP machine so you don't choke on your air. He goes, no, I don't need that. This is what I woke up to. I'm living next to a feral cat. And I said, honey, he told you need a CPAP machine. You're gonna choke yourself. No, I'm fine. Now, us menopausal women, I'm completely t-shirt, underwear, a fan on me, the Rock is fanning me with a palm, my husband is in a parka, right? And so he goes back to sleep like a baby, still snoring away. I finally get to sleep. I'm dreaming of Jason Momoa and that Bridgerton guy, season 1. Oh, bring him back, please. Sound asleep. And then I hear... I had sex with this pigeon next door to me. I said, you need the CPAP machine. We have college to pay for. You need to be with me. No, I'm fine. So I finally get back to bed. And then finally I heard... And he stops breathing.
Get that bag.
And I say to him, do I wake him up? And I say no. Because if he dies, I was right. And being near my son or my daughter about sex or puberty or any of that stuff, so it's on me, right? It's hard because but he doesn't speak to me, so how can I expect him to speak to them, right? And listen, I'm very comfortable in my skin, you guys. When I'm not on stage doing comedy, I'm a kindergarten teacher. Thank you. Relax. It's not so glamorous. Anyway, I was teaching kindergarten the other day, and this 5-year-old came up to me and went, baby. And I said, no, burrito. And kids will tell you exactly what's on their mind. And they'll ask you questions that you're never ever prepared to answer. So you have these credentials so they know you're legit and you're a good person, all that. So I have a credential from 10 years ago when I was hot and glamorous. And I showed this kid, and this kid looked at it, the same kid who tapped me inappropriately. And I said, he goes, Mrs. Hall, that's my name in the classroom, is that you? And I said, yeah. He goes, boy, you've let yourself go. So I'm the one that constantly has to be the person that tells my kids the real deal. So my son asked me the other day, he goes, Mom, what's masturbation? Oh. I said, did you talk to your father? He said, no, he didn't look at me in the eye or speak to me. I said, I get it. And I said, well, masturbation is a time when you explore yourself. And he said, oh, like a hike? I said, no, never outside and never in public. It's a time for you to explore your private area. And he goes, oh, I do that all the time. La, 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 la. And I said, okay, well, he goes, but I'm afraid you're going to come into my room with laundry. You never knock, you just come right in. And I could be exploring myself. Oh, no. I said, kid, you got to have a sign, a neon sign, something, do not disturb, lock the door. When I was leaving for this trip, I saw a sign on his door that said, I be working. And I said, I be leaving. So he is going through puberty, you guys. He is. We were on the phone last night. He goes, Mom, You know, I've got hair in places I didn't even know I had hair. People tell me that my voice is going to be sexy. And I just heard my penis will be enormous. And I said, you know what, kid? You get that from me. All right, everybody. Good night. Thank you. Let's bring up your MC.